Men, are you one of those people that have trained for years but have never really actually improved significantly with regards to their strength? Like, you might have went to the gym 2, 3, 4 times per week for the past decade and you're still lifting the same sort of dumbbells, you're still doing the same on the bench press, you're still squatting about the same as you always have done, and you fell into the trap of that bad mentality of, you know what, I'm getting old, I'm just maintaining, I can't really improve strength now, it's just my age, so that's just the way it is. Well, let me tell you, in order to train your strength, there needs to be a couple of adjustments in your mentality. Typically, people go to the gym to improve their muscle size, and that is absolutely great because that has a lot of benefits with regards to the basic function of the joints, the basic function of the muscles, learning technique and tempo. But as we transition into strength, there's a couple of adjustments that need to be made into your training. I'm going to go over them today. So my promise to you in this video, I will give you a template that I use on the longevity program in order to test the strength of the individuals that I have in front of me. Then the process that I go through to program then their sessions, and then I'll give you a free session as well just to send you on your way to bring my points to life. The importance of this, if you do this, you will save so much time. You will, like I say there, how many people have trained for decades and they actually haven't improved in strength that much? It's important that you get it right. There's just a few rules that you need to follow in order to get this right. And you follow them rules, then you will steadily make improvements week by week. And you're not gonna break records every week, but you're gonna make slight improvements every week. And what I mean by improvements, you may increase the weight you've lifted, you may increase the repetitions, how many repetitions you do in that set, or you may increase your ability to recover from the sessions a little bit quicker, or you might improve your technique. There's 4 ways in which your strength can improve. It's not just simply benching a little bit more, mate. Anyway, who the hell am I? My name is Paul Green. I'm an online coach. I run the longevity program. I'm a former British paratrooper and special forces support group operator. Over the past decade, I've trained thousands of elite men across defence, including those in the RAF, the Royal Marines and the Parachute Regiment. Some of these units are some of the fittest units in the world. However, over the past about 5 years, they have made the transition to being a more strength-based athlete. And the reason being is they have been getting injured. So many injuries, so many muscle injuries, so many joint injuries, particularly in the knees, the shins, ankles and hips, because of the load that they are constantly required to carry. Having that foundation of strength improves the body's capacity to continue with these demands. Now, you have demands as well. Your body is placed under a certain type of demand. Yes, it's completely different. However, the same thing applies to you. Just because the demands might be less or the demands might be higher because you work 9 hours a day on a site, your body is still placed under a lot of demands. So you having it in your back pocket, I'm not telling you have to do this right now. No, you need to understand this and then pick and choose as part of your year, your training year, when to put this in to best suit you. Hopefully you understand, hopefully you appreciate my words and my unique perspective on these matters. And if you listen, happy days. If not, I'll probably see you tomorrow because I post very regularly to the YouTube. So the plan for this video is I'm going to go over my test that I run on the longevity program, just to show you how I test athletes and a few of my thought processes. I'm going to try not to rip the ass out of that because it might just blow your mind and you might be thinking, fuck this. After you're doing the testing phase, what you need to think of before you write your own program, which I call this pre-programming priorities. After that, how to write a program for yourself, what rules to follow when you're doing a strength program. Again, lads, it might seem like a lot of information, but it's actually sound. Once I explain it, you print screen it, job done. Bring it to life with a free session, which I run again on the longevity program for lower body. That's it, job done. And if that introduction doesn't sound good to you, gentlemen, then there's a little something going wrong upstairs, you know what I'm saying? Right, test week. So the longevity program, I'm just going to scroll right up here. So my longevity program is a strength-based program to start off with, and my main goal is to strengthen your joints. So with that in mind, I have a few different movements here, and the intention is to see how your joints work through a full range of motion. Everybody's different, everybody has different goals, but my goal as the coach on this program is to assess the strength of your joints. So bear that in mind, that's like a little disclaimer before I explain. A split squat, I want to see how your knee works essentially. A lat pull down, I want to see the strength, I want to see your shoulder blades, and I want to see your full range of motion with your lats. A Zercher squat, again, back to the knees, but with a little bit of core involved in this time. Push press, I want to see full range of motion with the shoulders. We've got an aerobic test here, which is 5 minutes on the assault bike. Incline bench press, bent over row. So squat, vertical pull, another squat, which is bilateral this time. This is unilateral, single leg, both legs. Vertical push, fitness test, horizontal press, horizontal pull. So I've covered most bases here. Some could probably argue that I haven't got really a core exercise in there. I haven't got a rotate, very good for the spine. I chose not to put it in. I thought long and hard about the exercises I've selected here. Had a lot of conversations with a lot of coaches. So barbell split squat is one of my fundamental movements. The reason it's one of my how a fundamental movement that you choose, it basically dictates a lot of your program. A lot of these movements are sprinkled into the program, and they form the foundation of the program. So I'll just bang on to one of these. So just a split squat, a forward lean, and then we're down and we're up. Single leg exercise, very good, because you notice that sometimes you have a different strength level in an individual leg. That's why I've got the single leg exercise in, because again, we've got discrepancies. We've got different levels of flexibility, and we've got, I'm going to go back one. This is why I really like this exercise. Notice how the rear leg's straight. This tests the mobility as well of that rear leg, the mobility of the hip flexor of the rear leg. I'm going down, and I'm actually strengthening my quads as well on the front leg. Anyway, I don't have the time to be going this much in detail with my test week. I've told you my movements. I'll click on another one. With my test week as well, I just make it a bit more of a well-rounded session rather than sending you to the gym. Just to do tests, pretty boring. I actually give you a bit. Lat pull down test, a vertical pull. Again, it doesn't matter about the name of an exercise. It's just what you're doing. We're pulling. Are we pulling from a vertical position? Yeah, okay. It's called a vertical pull. And I'm looking for full range of motion. As much range of motion you can get through that. And that's a job done. That's why I like these exercises. They test your joints through as full a range of motion as possible. I'm going to click on one more. Push press. Again, standing up. Because it's a strength block, we move away from hypertrophy. Push press, we use a little bit of our legs, and the goal is to power up as fast as possible. Hey up, get off. Anyway, let's go back to it. Let's get rid of the longevity coaching test week. Right. When you've got a strength-based goal, it's very important that you do a test week. Now, if you're doing a hypertrophy block, you want to build muscle, it doesn't matter that a test week it doesn't matter, because what actually matters is the effort that you put through the muscle. It doesn't matter one bit about your current strength level if you are bodybuilding. But if you intend to get stronger, it's important that you know your current numbers, right? And the movements that you select are important to you. However, these are the movements that I select for those on the longevity program for the reasons that I've already talked about. My fundamental priority is the strengthening of the joints. because then everything else builds nicely on top of that. Hopefully you understand that. So we'll go straight into it. So you need to define your priorities. Like I just said there, my priorities are different to your priorities. But in a nutshell, you might have general goals or specific goals. And that's absolutely fine. If you want to ask me a question in the comments, or you want to message me on Instagram, look, Greenie, I have this goal. How do I make that more specific in order for me to program for myself? Look, I'm here to help you out. Do you know what I mean? So ask me this. Come to me with the questions. The best thing you can get from me is obviously jumping on my program. The second best thing that you can get from me is asking me questions, because I give everything away. I don't hold anything back, lads. However, I do appreciate that you are on a busy schedule, and I don't want to batter your heads with a 40-minute video like I've done in the past. How long have you got? How long have you got to achieve these goals? Is it 3 months? Is it 4 months? Is it a year? Are you not really that bothered about how long it takes in order for you to achieve these goals? Currently, one of my specific goals is I want to do a Zercher squat 140 kg. That's just one of my specific goals at the moment. I just want to do it. I think it's fucking cool. It's a proper manly movement. You're holding the bar on the front of your arms. Watch. Have I clicked it off? I've clicked it off. Never mind. Anyway, I was going to show you my Zercher squat. That's one of my specific goals. My programming is to improve the likelihood of that happening. So, gym sessions. How many times are you training? 3 is ideal. 4 is a little bit better. 5, nah, give or take 5. I'm not too worried if you're training 5. I'm probably more concerned that you're training 5 times a week. 4 is the gold standard. 3 or 4 is the gold standard. Right, I fucking talk shite on that one. Go back. As you can imagine, my energy, my passion. I love delivering this stuff. Educational lectures for you on the regular. If you like it, subscribe to the channel. Stay in the loop. So if you like this stuff, absolutely awesome. If you like the educational stuff, great, stick around on my YouTube channel. If you don't like the educational content, but you actually like me and you want, you know, me to tell you what to do, not to educate you, then the links are in my description to jump on the program, the longevity program. And as I say, my priority on that is to strengthen your joints fundamentally, and then everything builds on top of that in order to create you into a fucking savage. Right, the rules for writing your own program straight away. First one sounds so simple. The amount of people that are doing single leg exercises, jumping up and down, and got resistance bands all over the place, twisting around, and got one kettlebell. What you doing? Wow, honestly, basics, yeah, bread and butter stuff, basic movements, right? And weightlifting, I like to call weightlifting the art of being boring. It's usually the boring exercises that serve you the best because they're the most popular. And why are they the most popular? Is everybody wrong? Is everybody wrong by doing the most popular exercise? Or are you wrong for doing a little bit of a crazy one? Loadability is a key point, a key rule. The exercise that you are doing, you must be able to add weight onto it safely. Let's say, for example, you were doing a squat and there was no safety bars. What would happen if you added too much weight on and you couldn't do your set of 4? Would the bar just crumble on top? Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. Safely loadable, or loadability. How can you load that movement? So, straight away, this dictates, loadability will dictate your exercise selection. For example, if you were to do a press up in your program, you're like, oh yeah, I like chest, I want chest strength press up. Hold on a minute. How loadable is a press up? You train by yourself. How do you load a press up? Now you're starting to get into, it takes the piss to load a press up. Yeah, of course you can wear vests and stuff like that. Alright, great. But, do you see what I'm saying? Keep it simple. Can you add weight on easy every week? Or can you attempt to add weight on every couple of weeks? So that's loadability. Start big, finish small. This is with regards to your session plan. You want to start with the bigger muscles and then finish with the small. Use most of your energy in your central nervous system all your spark, all your drive, all your energy wants to be used predominantly on your big movements. Big movements work big muscles, lots of muscle activation, lots of tiredness, and then you finish with a small. There's a lot of people in the gym nowadays, and maybe this is okay for people that are quite advanced in their weightlifting careers. They will start with the small stuff to pre-fatigue. However, coming back to the first point, keeping it simple, just do the basics, yeah? Target muscle should fail first. Let's say you're doing a horizontal pull-in movement called a bent over row, and you're doing sets of 4 to 6. How many of you have done that movement for 4 to 6 reps? Not many. Can't tell you that now. Anyway, how many of you are doing 4 to 6 repetitions on a bent over row? Because the intensity would be extremely high, and what else would be high? The weight that you're lifting, resulting in what? Exactly. Your grip would fail first. So there's an argument to be made about how good a bent over row is. However, like I tell all of my athletes, get yourself some straps, because these movements, the intention of these movements is to strengthen your back muscles, your pulling muscles. I'm not interested. I will work on forearms in a different session. So make sure you have got grip straps that take the element of grip completely out of the equation. The requirement for these movements is to strengthen your joints, not strengthen your forearms, gentlemen. Hopefully you understand that. Target muscle should fail first, not random muscles that are just weak. Do you know what I'm saying? With strength, the range of motion changes from hypertrophy. Hypertrophy, predominantly, everything is through the biggest path, biggest range of motion possible. With strength, the range of motion can be a little bit shorter than hypertrophy, but it's just having the awareness. Having the awareness that, okay, on this exercise, I'm not actually flexing my knee through a full range of motion, but I may want to ensure that the next exercise, I actually do move the knee through a full range of motion. Do you understand? So it's range of motion awareness with your strength-based stuff, because you still want to be strong through a full range of motion, but if you're not doing a full range of motion on exercise A, then you might want to consider doing a full range of motion on exercise B. And that is across the board with all joints. And similarly to the range of motion, direction of muscle fibers. It's important, whatever exercise, whatever training block you are doing, you have a bit of an awareness of the muscle fibers, because that will give you the direction in which you must pull, push, and squat as well. If you get this wrong, your joints are just going to crumble. You know what I mean? Give it a 6 months, give it a year, give it a couple of years. You can have everything in place, all of this in place. You can have the best diet, the best plan of recovery. But if you don't have these two, you're just going to get injured. Honestly, it sounds daft. You're just going to get injured. If you don't do these 4, right, your training's going to be shit. You're probably not going to improve that much in the gym. The first 4, probably not going to make that much improvements without the first 4. However, these will stop you. These last 2 will stop you from getting injured. Do you understand? Right, nice one. So ease your example session. 5 exercises, like I said, basic, boring, keeping it simple. Leg press. What is leg press? It's a machine. Why are we doing a machine on the first exercise? Because you can load the fucking living daylights out of that machine, and you're sat in, you're strapped in, it's safe, and you can full send it. After that, we can work we have the joint, the range of motion awareness. We can work the knee fairly close to its full range of motion, and the hip, so we're getting glute activation in it as well. After that, because this is kind of a knee focused exercise, especially around the quads, I don't know if you've noticed, but most of the time I'm talking about exercise, I talk about joints rather than muscles. Hopefully you appreciate it, but this is the way I speak with regards to PT. I I'm joint focused. My training is focused around strengthening the joints. And you'll notice there's a lot of muscles in the body and they're all called crazy different names like sartorius and vectus femoris and all this shite. I'm just talking about joints. I'm keeping it super simple in order to strengthen your joints. So just appreciate that. I've got the muscles in my back pocket if you need them. Anyway, glute bridge. We focus on hips this time. Strengthening the hips, extending the hips, contracting the hips. Split squat, single leg, like I showed you earlier on. The glorious thing about a split squat, men, is, like I said earlier on, was you get the lengthening of the rear leg, so you're actually getting more flexible and you're getting more strong. So you're getting the front knee, you're basically strengthening the quads on the front knee, and you're lengthening the rear leg hip flexor. Mint. You can literally improve your flexibility with that movement. So the split squat improves your range of motion for your leg presses and your other squat movements. Happy days, and then we're starting to finish small. So we're doing our hamstring curl, and then we've got some jumps. As we start to do strength, it's important that we venture out to explosive strength as well. And with jumps, the key difference is, jumps aren't full range of motion. If I said to you now, jump as high as you can, right? You wouldn't squat all the way down and jump up. It'd be like a half squat, bang! And you would half squat, and boom! As soon as you get to that nice step, you just send it as high as you can. Again, with the strength rep ranges, which I will mention shortly. So hopefully you understand that. Kept it simple, boring. There's no crazy resistance band exercise that you see on Instagram. Them exercises, everyone's like, oh, they look good, they look fun. They do, and that's why they get so much engagement, and that's why they're in front of your eyeballs and mine. And I watch it, I'm like, I might try that. Right then, gentlemen, so you're probably thinking, right in a session, all this is great, you're digesting this extremely well, buzzing. 4 to 5 exercises, maximum. Don't need to do 10 exercises. Stop getting yourself in the gym for 2 hours and literally just junk training. It's not useful, right? If you're training to that required intensity, you only need to do 4 or 5 exercises. I guarantee you that. So, 4 or 5 exercises. Start big, finish small. Each set, when you're training strength, needs to be 90% effort. And this is where, when I was talking earlier on about how many times you should be training per week, you should not be doing, unless you're a professional athlete, right, who this is their day job, 5 or 6 times a week. Nah. When you're training strength, 3 to 4 times a week maximum, because you need to have the ability to recover from these sessions. And it's not just about physically recovering, it's about mentally recovering, because you're shifting a lot of tin. The difference from strength from hypertrophy, typically hypertrophy sessions are a little bit slower in tempo. For example, if you were doing a bench press movement, you'd take your time on the way down. Because the intent is different with strength, the tempo is a little bit quicker, because you literally are in tatters. You want to move the weight a bit quicker because it won't go back up if you are waiting around. 4 to 6 reps on each set. There's a little bit of flexibility with the rep ranges that I provide, because let's say, for example, you can squat 60 kilos on week 3, and you're thinking, yeah, you can squat 60 kilos for 6 reps on week 3, and you're thinking, that felt comfortable. So what do you do on week 4? Well, week 4 you may want to up the weight a little bit, but then the reps may change. So the 4 to 6 ensures that you've got a little bit of flexibility in order to creep the weight up. If you are improving technique, your recovery is improving, and you are doing 6 reps, then yes, of course, you need to add on some weight. I'd probably look to add no more than 10% of weight, and then you may only get 5 reps, or you may only get 4 reps. But if you're doing 4 sets of 4 reps, decent. You're still in the strength rep ranges. And this is the same for jumps as well, by the way. So like I said earlier on, we do the jumps, the power jumps, maximum explosion. It's the same. 4 to 6 reps for 4 sets. And one thing I didn't mention with this, rest periods. Rest periods on a strength-based session needs to be 3 to 5 minutes. So you're still in the gym for easy an hour, even with these 4 or 5 exercises. But you need to be ready to go to move the needle on the next set. So it's important. And what I see all the time is people are jogging on the spot, and people want to get involved in the next set. Lads, honestly, if you want to improve your strength, recover. Prioritize recovery. You should be suffering after each set. So you're going to need that 3 minutes to recover, especially if you're doing 4 sets on every exercise and all these fundamentals are in place. Gentlemen, my promise at the start of the video was I was going to give you a template so you could make a shift from whatever crazy training you are doing at the moment into a nice, productive strength training block. Obviously with me, I go a couple of layers deeper just to make sure that you understand the stuff that I'm telling you, rather than me just telling you stuff. However, if you do want me to just tell you stuff and not teach you, then links are in my channel for you to apply for the longevity program. And yeah, you can work with me if you so wish. If that is not something you're interested in, and you are just interested in the knowledge that I provide on the YouTube, then I will see you in the next video.